Tissue swelling occurs typically in tissues with low oxygenation. Once again, it's because of the anaerobic property of the Actinomyces israeli. So, the following tissues can be affected. The following regions can be affected. We have this thing called the cervicofacial lumpy jaw. This can occur from the dental trauma or poor oral hygiene. So please remember to keep brushing your teeth and using mouthwash. But anyways, the cervicofacial lumpy jaw can be remembered by thinking about the jaw wrap around the soldier's head. This jaw wrap is purple to signify the gram-positive feature of Actinomyces israeli. It can also be found in the pelvis, specifically from the thoracic area, or sometimes through the use of intrauterine devices or IUDs. It can also happen in the abdomen through the surgery or bowel trauma, even the thoracic region coming from aspiration with contiguous spread. And lastly, the central nervous system